Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Premier League season that has just finished. And a quick side note, I am recording this before the Champions League final. It is this Saturday, so hopefully Arsenal didn't win, because if they did, I'm not going to be able to live. In today's video, I'm going to discuss my personal team of the season. I'm going to rank the Man United players as well, because obviously that is my club. I'm going to go through who I think was signing of the season, and also the flop team of the season, the worst 11 of the year. They're pretty bad. So I guess we'll start with Arsenal. Congratulations to Arsenal. It only took 5 other teams underperforming to you finally win a league. So congratulations. Like I said, if you win the Champions League, oh god, I'm not gonna be able to go on social media. I might have to buy a PSG shirt. I think ultimately Arsenal deserved to win the league. I think everyone else was, like I said, just so underperforming. I know Man City were with them towards the end of the season, but even Man City weren't as good as they normally are this season. And now with Pep Guardiola leaving, you could debate who's going to stop Arsenal next year, but I have something to say. Now, as for Mikel Arteta, he just won Premier League Manager of the Year, so congratulations to him. I can't stand the guy. Is he really the Manager of the Year? I mean, yes, they won the league, but I'd argue that the Sunderland manager is probably Manager of the Year. I mean, they got 7th, and everyone said they were going down. So I think he's done a great job. I'll talk about them later on. I think what won Arsenal the league ultimately was the defence. Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. I mean, I know Timber was a bit injured, but he was great as well. Calafiori and David Raya. They have what has won Arsenal the league. They've been all brilliant. David Raya, especially towards the end of the season, was absolutely great. Do I think their attack's still that good? No. I like Saka, but he had an underperforming year. Eze was okay in spells. Odegaard wasn't very good. I don't think Trossard and Martinelli are at the level to win another Premier League, even though I think Trossard did okay this year. Gyökeres was actually okay as well. I know at the start he was crap, but he actually came good, which I did think he would. As for Manchester City, yes, they won the Carabao Cup, and yes, they won the FA Cup, but for Manchester City, it's still a bad season. Got knocked out relatively early in the Champions League, and obviously now with Pep going, it's all up in the air. Also with the 115 charges, we don't know what's going on with that. I did hear recently that they could be coming to like a determination on what they're going to be doing. Hopefully they relegate them, yeah, because I can't stand them lot. But let's be honest, they probably won't. They'll probably just get a fine and a slap on the wrist. I think the Premier League, for some reason, are scared to relegate Manchester City, and I don't know why. It looks like Enzo Maresca will be the next Manchester City manager. That's going to be very interesting next year. I do have a video that I will make in the future of my Premier League predictions for next year, but obviously I've got to wait to see who buys who and all that stuff first. Do I think Enzo Maresca will be a success at Manchester City? It's very, I don't know. I feel like we're going to just have to see when it happens. He's a good manager, Enzo Maresca. I think Chelsea should have never got rid of him. Because they fell out of him for some stupid reason, because he asked for some centre backs and they said no, we're buying another winger. Sure, we'll have to wait and see with Man City and also who they bring in. Like I said, Manchester United, I mean, it was a roller coaster of a season. We started the season with Ruben Amorim and we were crap. We were absolutely shit. Yeah, we lost to Grimsby, we lost to Brighton in the FA Cup the first round, and to be honest with you, I nearly went on loan to Colchester United. Michael Carrick came in, turned it round, and he's done a brilliant job. And for doing a great job, he's been given the permanent job. What do I think of that? I think it's going to end in tears. I really do. And I hope I'm wrong. When I say I really mean this, I hope I am so wrong. This is giving me Ollie vibes. And I loved Ollie. Ollie was a great, well, he wasn't a great manager. He's a great guy. And I'm just getting it again. Like, you know, there's reports today that they're not going to buy Elliot Anderson and they're not going to spend the money on him. Like, how are you meant to compete with these big teams if you're not going to keep up with them? Overall, United have had a great season to where we were last year. We were 15th. I know no Champions League has helped us a lot. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes broke the assist record. I mean, sort of, the last assist was probably not even an assist. It was an own goal, but we don't talk about those. We carry on. And I think in the end, Cunha was a good signing. And Burmo's been very on and off, but I think he will come good in the future. And Sesko did pretty well before he was getting injured a bit. So depending on our transfer window, we could have a good season next year, so we just got to wait and see. What else do I want to talk about? Chelsea finished 10th. 10th. Well done, Garnacho. Great decision, mate. That literally couldn't happen to a nicer guy. That guy pisses me off. Yeah, they're in turmoil. I think all their players are leaving. I mean, they've got a decent manager for next season. I think Xabi Alonso will do pretty well. if they let him buy some defenders. Like I said earlier on, Sunderland finished 7th, brilliant. Bournemouth was 6th, they were brilliant. Iraola's a brilliant manager, and it would be interesting to see where he goes from here. Obviously, Villa won the Europa League as well, so congratulations to them. Even though Jadon Sancho seems to be winning everything every year, but he doesn't actually contribute to anything. It's actually really impressive how he does it. As for relegation, unfortunately, Tottenham did not get relegated. That would have been lovely, because they deserved to, because they were shit. Obviously, Wolves got relegated, Burnley as well, and unfortunately it was West Ham on the final day that officially sent them down. But they are keeping their manager, West Ham, so I'd imagine next season they will be back up. I think West Ham were actually unlucky because they weren't very good, but since they brought Nuno in, they were getting a bit better, and I think if he was from the start of the season, they wouldn't have been in that position. As for Tottenham, they need to sort it out, otherwise I think next year they're going to be back down there. I really do. And they seem to do some decent things in the transfer window. They're looking at Savinho from Manchester City. They've already got Andy Robertson and Senesi, I believe, so that's 2 or 3 good signings in my opinion. And De Zerbi's a better manager than, you know, Igor Tudor or Thomas Frank, that he is. But I think with Tottenham, it's more about getting rid of some of the crap they've got, because there's some players in that squad that do not care. And one of them, I think, is Mickey van der Ven. I think he's rated really highly as a defender, even though I don't rate him that highly. But he, like, so obviously down tools for 3/4 of the season. And so did Romero. I mean, Romero being injured in the last game and wanting to go and watch an Argentinian Cup final when your team could get relegated. Do I have to say anything else? He's captain. There will be a few Tottenham players on my flop 11 list later on in the video, of course, because they're crap. But the first thing I want to do is just rank the Man United players from this season. So if you don't care, skip. So Lamont is the first player I'm going to do, and I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He has reformed my team. Yeah, I have someone in goal who can catch a ball. I think at the start, a lot of people were overrating him just because of how bad Onana actually was. And I don't think a lot of people who don't support United realised how bad Onana was. So when Lamont came in and started catching the ball from corners, I was running around my front room. I couldn't believe it. But he's made some really good saves. He's kept us and won us a lot of games that I think has gone really under the radar. And he's only 24. He only costs like 20 million. I think it's a great bit of business for Man United for once. Bayindir, on the other hand, I'm going to give him a 4. Yeah, he's played a few games, and he's not very good. Diogo Dalot at right back, I'm going to give him a 5. It could be less, to be honest. He's just not that great, but he's had the odd, like, decent game. There's definitely worse in the league, but he's not great. Sadio Mazraoui, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Hasn't played as much as I'd like him to play. I do think he's a better right back than Dalot, just overall. And hopefully next season, if we don't get a right back, which I probably don't think we are, we can see Mazraoui play a bit more. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10 this season. I think he's been really consistent this season, and I cannot believe he has not been picked for England. I think that is a joke, to be honest with you. The fact that Dan Burn has been picked for England and Harry Maguire hasn't, Thomas Tuchel must be smoking some weed. Like, it's actually, it's a joke, really. But it seems like the Maguire banter era has kind of just gone, because he's actually pretty decent now, so yeah. Lenny Yoro is a hard one. I'll probably give him a 5.5. He's still young, and I have faith for Lenny Yoro going forward. He hasn't had the greatest of seasons, but there's been a lot of change, and for a young player that is difficult. De Ligt, I've got to give a 4, and I like De Ligt, and when De Ligt plays, he's really good, but he's just injured all the time. So I don't know how much longer that's gonna last, because we can't have someone that plays like 5 games a season. Lisandro Martinez, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I do like Lisandro Martinez. I think the whole height thing about, oh, he's too small for the Premier League, I think that's gone now, which was a stupid debate in the first place. Again, he's been injured quite a bit, and I think he just needs to get a run of games ready to really form a lot of consistency. Someone who has been good this season, Aiden Heaven, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think, what is he, 19, 20 years old? To me, he should be playing like most games in the league for us. I think he's only going to get better. I can't believe Arsenal sold him to us for like $1 million. That was just ridiculous. Now, I'm really excited about Aiden Heaven. I think he's going to be a very good player. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Now, I know he's played every single game, which is good for Luke Shaw, because obviously he's had a lot of horrific injuries in his career. But just because you play doesn't mean you play good, and he hasn't played good this season. I think towards the end of the season he's been pretty good, because shock, there's a World Cup coming up. It seems to do it every time there is. His left back compatriot Malacia gets a 0, because this guy came on for 1 game and lost us the game. That's what I've got to say. 0. Patrick Dorgan, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I think he was a 2 out of 10 before he played on the wing. Now he plays on the wing, he's a 6 out of 10. I think there's definitely a future for Dorgan at Manchester United on the wing. He's not a left back, he's not good enough to play left back. But I do think on the wing he's got a bit of tech. Obviously that goal against Arsenal was just disgusting. And he has been good when he's been playing in the wider attacking positions this year. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Casemiro is going to get an 8.5 out of 10. Obviously leaving this season. He's been good. Yeah, he's been very good, scored a lot of headers, and if it weren't for Casemiro, Bruno probably wouldn't have broken the assist record, so fair play to him. Ugarte's a 4, leave my club, you're lucky you're even getting that. You can't even pass, and you play him as a midfielder. No. Kobbie Mainoo, 7 out of 10. I can't believe that the first half of the season he was on the bench, and he nearly left in January. That was just a joke. Great to see Kobbie Mainoo playing football, and he's only 20 still, which is just crazy because he feels like he's been around for so long already. Yeah, he needs to get someone good next to him, and I think Kobbie Mainoo will shine. Next season we'll be talking about 8 and 9s out of 10. Mason Mount, sort of like De Ligt. I think he's good when he plays, but he doesn't play enough, always injured. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10 as well. Brian and Bowman, I'm going to give a 6.5 out of 10. Now, some people might go lower with that. To me, I think he's a good goal scorer. Sometimes he fades in games, and it's kind of one of them. If he doesn't score, he doesn't do loads for the team. But let's be honest, he's better than Garnacho, and he's better than Rashford. So we've upgraded in that department, and I have no personal problem with Brian Burnwell. I think he will come good in the future. Ahmad, a bit disappointing this season for Ahmad. I really like Ahmad as a player. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. You could go lower, you could go higher. I just think Ahmad needs to do what he used to do, which is just keep it a bit more simple, stop trying to do too much, and he'll be fine. Simplify his game, that's what he needs to do. Tetes Cunha, 7.5 out of 10. Brilliant season. And you got to remember with Cunha, he's been playing out of position for most of the season. But when we bought him, I thought that would be a good signing, and it has proven to be. So I think with Cunha, it's just a matter, again, he's just going to get better next season, in my opinion. Bruno Fernandes, 9.5 out of 10. If we didn't have this man, we'd be next to Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham and them man down there. Compared to the rest of our squad, Bruno Fernandes is in like a different realm. It's not even comparable, really. I'm so happy he's staying this year as well. It might be the last year, so we got to make good of Bruno, but anyone saying that Bruno Fernandes isn't a world-class footballer is on drugs. Joshua Zirkzee, another player I think that's going to be leaving. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I think that's a bit generous, actually. I'm not saying Zirkzee's a bad footballer. He's just a terrible striker, and we bought him to score goals, so that's not really worked out. And finally, Benjamin Sesko, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. He scored some really important goals for us this year. Do I think he's the greatest footballer? No, but he's definitely a good goal scorer. Again, he's only like, what, 22, 23, something like that. He's only going to get better, and if we get some better players around him as well, create more service, I've got no problem with Sesko. Ruben Amorim gets a 2 out of 10. And that's for putting his shoes on correctly. Michael Carrick, I've got to give an 8 out of 10. He has revitalised my football club. And I hope, like I said earlier on, I hope I am wrong that he's going to flop in the end. United need to back him with the transfers is my biggest point. And if they don't, then I can't really blame the man. Just give him the money. Now moving on to my general team of the season. And I know team of the season has already been released, but this is my personal one. Goalkeeper is David Raya, and I've got 2 options for every position. So the other option would have been Donnarumma. Le Mans to me is number 3, but that's just my bias probably. Like I said, David Raya, Golden Glove, big part to why Arsenal won the league, and I've already gone over David Raya, so yeah, he's the goalkeeper. Right back was difficult for me. I like Michael Coyote at Brentford. He's probably my 3rd option. I've gone Timber as the 2nd option. If you're actually thinking of a right back, Timber's probably been the best right back, but I've put Dominic Szoboszlai at right back because I'm an idiot. I had to fit him in somehow. He's not in the midfield. He's been Liverpool's best player by an absolute country mile. His free kicks are ridiculous. And he played right back a lot this season, so I'm justified. I'm putting him at right back. The 2 centre-backs are the 2 Arsenal centre-backs. It's Saliba and Gabriel. Like I said, they have just been a brick wall this season. I think they've only conceded, like, what, 27, 28 goals all season, which is very impressive. And the other 2 I put as the other 2 centre-backs, I put Mark Gahey. Since he's been to Manchester City, I think he's been really, really consistently good. And he might have actually give Arsenal the league, with what he did, but regardless, he's still be good. And the other one is Senesi, who's been at Bournemouth all season and now going to Tottenham. I think Tottenham have actually got a good signing there, to be honest with you, if that does go through. At left back is the young player of the year, Nico O'Reilly. He has been Another player who's very, very impressed me this season, and I just hate that he plays for Manchester City. Again, scored some important goals, scored in the Carabao Cup final twice, I believe. Yeah, and again, he's only going to get better, and that kills me to say. And my backup left back was Lewis Hall. He would actually still be my backup left back for team of the season if Eddie Howe stopped playing Dan Burn at left back and Lewis Hall at right back. What are we doing? First midfielder, Declan Rice. He's had a really good season, and I understand the shouts for Player of the Year from an Arsenal fan's perspective because you have won the league. He has been the glue in the midfield for Arsenal because Zubimendi's okay, and Eze's been in and out of the team, so has Odegaard. Declan Rice has been the one constant, and he's been very, very good, and I'm a big fan of Declan Rice. The next midfielder is Elliot Anderson. Obviously going to get a big move, probably to Manchester City, unfortunately, this summer. He is an all-action midfielder. He can do everything. He can defend, he can tackle, he can pass, he can score goals, he can make goals. He's brilliant, and I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. And then the third midfielder is, of course, Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, broke the assist record. In my opinion, the best player in the league. Just a brilliant player. I've actually gone for 4 different midfielders as well that I want to give a shout out to. You could interchange, I guess. First one is Alex Scott at Bournemouth. Again, a young player. In my opinion, could have got picked for the World Cup as well, but didn't. James Garner, former Man United, now at Everton, another player, England set up, but very solid season for him. Morgan Gibbs-White as well at Forest, scored some important goals to keep them up, and that injury he got on his head, I would never be able to recover from, so I rate him for that. And Granit Xhaka at Sunderland, of course, who arguably is signing of the season. He's not my signing of the season, and I'll get onto that after this, but he was very, very good. Now for the front three, the first one is Antoine Semenyo. Scored so many goals, got so many assists. He's such a threat. Another player I would have loved at United, but again, you just don't throw the money down nowadays. Next player is Ryan Cherki, and this is actually my signing of the season. I love Ryan Cherki. I hate that he plays for Manchester City, but he's such a silky footballer. It's unbelievable. He's arguably the best footballer in the league, like on the ball footballer. I think he's got 12 assists. I think only 4 goals, but 12 assists, and he just makes the game look so easy. He's so fun to watch, and I'm going to hate him for probably about the next 15 years of my life. And then obviously the striker is Erling Haaland. I do think Igor Thiago has been very good this season, especially for a Brentford side that was basically finished mid-table in the end. But Haaland, even when people think he's fallen off, he still gets top goal scorer every year. It is ridiculous. The man is not real. He is a robot. 2 more players I want to shout out. The first one is Harry Wilson at Fulham. He's actually leaving Fulham, I believe, on a free. So that could be a good deal for someone to go and get because he's had a really good season. He's definitely been Fulham's standout player of the year. And finally, at Chelsea, João Pedro. If Chelsea didn't have João Pedro, they would have finished below 10th. He was really good for them. He scored 15 Premier League goals this season. And today they've told Barcelona he's untouchable. And they should make him untouchable because without him, they've got Liam Delap, who's absolutely useless. And yeah, you need to just keep João Pedro at all costs if I was a Chelsea fan. And now finally for my flop team of this season. This should be fun. Boys, I know Man United players because we're 3rd in the league and we're going to win the league next year. The first one in goal is Vicario. He's shit. Don't get me wrong, Kinksky has been pretty bad this season as well, but he's young, and he's also, towards the end of the season, he made some decent saves for Tottenham to actually keep them up, in my opinion. You know what's made me put Vicario here is when Tottenham were staying up, he's giving it to Everton's bench. Like, he's done something. Mate, you're sat on the bench as the reserve goalkeeper, you're meant to be number 1. You're crap, mate. You're terrible. And some of the other things he's been doing in the season, dropping the ball, make easy saves, going under him. He's crap. He's crap. He is bad. At right back is Jeremy Frimpong. I actually really rate Jeremy Frimpong, and when he was at Leverkusen, I wanted him to come to Manchester United. I really did. But it's just not worked for him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the physicality in the league. He's been playing wing on the wing for some reason as well. Sometimes it's been a bit strange, but I think he will come good, but for this season, he's not been great. The 2 centre-backs are Max Kilman at West Ham. I mean, he's dreadful. He's been absolutely dreadful. Like, he's not even funny bad. He's just bad. And then I've also gone for Kevin Danzo at Tottenham. With Danzo, I see moments and I think, oh, you're not bad. And then you fall over in your own box and concede a goal. Like, I think he's really not that good. So, yeah, unfortunately, Kevin Danzo, you've made the list, mate, for like Chris Jericho. And at left back is the other Liverpool fullback, is Kirkes. Now, I will admit, Kirkes has come on a bit stronger towards the end of the season, middle to end of the season. At the start of the season, he was the biggest laughing stock I think I've ever seen in the Premier League. It was actually funny to watch this guy play football. He was all over the place. His positioning was terrible. So for that, he's just got to go in here, I'm sorry. Now for the three midfielders. The first one is Thomas Souček. I can't believe this guy still plays in the Premier League. I've seen West Ham fans saying, oh, I hope we keep him for next year in the Championship. Why? This guy can't play football. I'm not saying he can't hit the ball in the goal all the time. Well done to him. But as a footballer, he's terrible. So he's on the list. Number 2, Conor Gallagher. Terrible signing. Don't get me wrong, he tries a little bit. But it just made no sense. The signing made no sense to me, and Conor Gallagher's always been an average footballer, so he's going to go there. On the third midfielder, I could go Florian Wirtz, but I actually think he is a decent footballer and he's come on. And this player I do think as well will come good. It's Xavi Simons. I think, again, at the start of the season, he was terrible. He was terrible. You have to take that into account. I know recently he's been okay. Conor Gallagher's been okay. But they have, you know, the reason they're down there is because they've been so bad. So you have to put that there for me. And the front three, I've actually got 5 players. The first one is Wissa. I mean, what, 29-year-old, 50 million quid. I don't know what Newcastle were doing in the transfer window last season, but it was just stupid. He scored like 2 goals. He's been terrible. He's arguably been the worst attacker in the league, in my opinion. Alexander Isak, another one. I mean, people say, oh, he's been injured. But even before that injury, he was terrible. You know, I think people need to stop, you know, the Liverpool tinted glasses on. Liam Delap is another one. Waste of money. I can't believe we nearly bought him. Thank God we dodged that bullet as well. He just doesn't... Liam Delap doesn't remind me of any... He's not a footballer. I think he'd be better at rugby. Must be nice. And then the last 2 are also Chelsea players. You can probably guess who one of them is. The first one is Bino Gittins. The career mode legend. Not the football legend. I know he's been injured for a little bit now. But when he was playing, he looked terrified to take a man on. And he didn't look like that at Dortmund, so maybe, again, he could be a player that comes good. But this season it's just not worked. And finally, Alejandro Garnacho. That fucking clown. 1 Premier League goal. He looks like Pat Butcher. He's got, I think the bleach has gone to his brain. Twerked for Chelsea all summer, by the way. Because he wanted to join a team that were competing on all fronts. They're 10th and they're not in Europe. I love this world. I love it! I wish nothing but the worst for Garnacho and his career. I hope he ends up at Hartlepool United. So that was my review of the Premier League season 25 to 26. Let me know down in the comments who you think has been a standout player or a standout team this season, and let me know why. I will be making a video soon, well, rather, I say soon, it will be coming out, of my next season Premier League predictions, and then next year we'll look back at how wrong I was. Probably very. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Take care and peace. Arsenal do not win the Champions League.